Interior CS Fred Matiangi is having a field day today. The whole of the social media platforms are talking about Fred Matiangi. You might wonder why is this happening, because recently there has been this big question between Fred Matiangi and David Maraga. Whom should the Kisses consider as the regional kingpin? Whom should the Kisi go for in 2027 elections? You see, the name Fred Matiangi and David Maraga has been in public for quite for some months now. Of course, there are both there are reports that both of them will be seeking for presidency in 2027, and now there has been these discussions that sometimes last week we had leaders from Kisii having a secret meeting discussing between the two whom should they made to be their regional kingpin, whom should the Kisis go for in 2027 elections. Of course, we have reports, we have several claims, and I'm going through some of them. I've gone through some of these claims. Some of them are harsh, and we wait to see if it is going to unfold or not. But I think that we have people who feels like we cannot go to the 2027 elections with the two Kisses as the presidential candidate. One of them must step down. Now, no, you must realize that so far none of them has come out clearly to indicate that they are going for presidency. None of them has made it clear that I am going for this seat and this is what I am going to do. None of them so far have come out to say about their plans, about their 2027 plans. But they have made some statements in regards to elections, and you can tell that they are preparing themselves. They are preparing from the statements they've been releasing. You can just tell that these people are eyeing these top seat. Now, you see, the people from the South Nyanza region are the ones to make this decision, are the ones to take to tell us whom do they prefer between former Chief Justice David Maraga and former Interior CS Fred Matiangi, because we have Kisis who prefer Fred Matiangi, and we have Kisis who are saying that the man to take that seat and the man who can change this country is none other than David Maraga. Both of them have scandals, of course. In Kenya's political scene, all these people who have fronted themselves, they have scandals here and there. Their past is dark and all that. But that aside, we want to discuss about these two people, because I'm seeing that Fred Matiangi is, and people saying that it looks like today Fred Matiangi has poured money, because since morning of today, Monday, Fred Matiangi has been all over social media. People saying this, people saying that. There are those who are backing him. There are those who are reminding us about the Rivayala bodies. There are those who are reminding us about what happened in Kisumu during his tenure as a cabinet CS. But will Kenyans overlook this? Will Kenyans overlook what Maraga did when he was the Chief Justice? Because even Maraga was not totally clean. There are a lot of things that happen in the judiciary that Kenyans feel like, no, perhaps this is happening because we don't have a man who could change that. Judiciary right now as we speak, people are complaining about corruption in courts, about corruption in the judiciary, but people feel like it is not like it is started today. It is not that these things started with the current Chief Justice Martha Koome. This is something that has been there, and people feel like when David Maraga was the Chief Justice, he couldn't correct that. He couldn't correct the corruption, the scandal that has been reported in the judiciary. And now they feel like with that failure to do that, with that failure to clean the judiciary, Maraga is not fit to lead this country. Now, when we talk about Fred Matiangi, we all know about Fred Matiangi. We all know what he did. Of course, he was he managed to was moved from different cabinet secretaries. It was the CS education, and whereby people loved him for what he did when he was the cabinet secretary in education. And now also people really disliked him for what, or people rather, they disliked what he did when he was the interior CS. And this is something that people are bringing it up. This is something that people are saying that we cannot overlook what Fred Matiangi did when he was the interior CS. People are saying that even now, as we talk about Ruto this, Ruto that, at least Ruto is now giving us the freedom, freedom of speech. Some people feel like if we do that thing of electing Fred Matiangi, some people are now holding it up that Fred Matiangi will not give us the total freedom of speech that we want as a country. And some people feel like Fred Matiangi is not the man, that this man is also a dictator, whom if we elect him as the president of this country, Fred Matiangi will not give us what we want. I don't know what you think about this. I don't know what you feel about this too. I don't know what you prefer, or who is your preference between these two. I'm not saying that the presidency or the elections is revolving around these two, but we're just trying to look, because several candidates will be coming up. Of course, we have the Ruto Raila team, and I'm seeing people are suggesting the David Maraga Okiomtata team, and others are forming these Fred Matiangi and Peter Kenneth team. And then the last we have Kina Kalonzo, we have former DP Rigathi Gachagua and Eugene Wamalwa. So you see, these people, all of them are just trying to come up with coalitions that they feel like it will take them to the State House. But now we are talking about Fred Matiangi. If you are supporting Fred Matiangi, whom do you think should deputize him? I've seen people suggesting Peter Kenneth. I've seen people suggesting that he should go for a woman. I'm seeing people giving out a suggestion, different suggestion and all that. You are watching this video as a Fred Matiangi supporter. Whom do you think he should pick as a running mate in 2027 elections? Do you think that for Fred Matiangi to secure the votes of women, he should go for a woman? Do you think that Fred Matiangi should go for somebody who has been in politics for long? Or do you think that Fred Matiangi should go for some fresh blood? Of course, we have Gen Zs who have been pushing for good governance. We have Gen Zs who have been doing a lot. Do you think that Fred Matiangi should at least consider these rising these new bloods in the 2027 election? So it is going to be, of course, it is going to be tough. I'm not expecting that the 2027 is just going to be like a smooth for even the Gen Zs and these other politicians who are eyeing that top seat. Of course, Ruto already has told us that he is not going anywhere. He has made that statement several times. The likes of Kinasudi have told us that they are going to top votes and all that. These statements are something that we should not take it lightly. These are statements that they are preparing us psychologically. They are telling us that we are not going anywhere. With this in mind, we must at least now understand that it is not going to be just a smooth way. It is going to be it can be a scenario whereby in the first round we might not have the 50+1% as required by our constitution. So there are a lot of discussion that is currently happening around Fred Matiangi and around David Maraga. But I don't know, between these two, whom do you think that he can face Ruto and oust Ruto? Whom do you think that he has everything that the Kenyans from all walks of life? You see, our politics is still tribal. We must not overlook this thing. As much as we want to run away from the tribal politics, as we speak right now, our politics is still tribal. So we must look at it this way, that you prefer David Maraga. Can the people from the coastal region vote David Maraga? Can people from where can Kuria vote for David Maraga? Can people from Western region vote for David Maraga? These are questions that we must ask. These are questions that we must not ignore. Okay, when you look at Fred Matiangi, you must ask yourself, can people from Kilifi vote for Fred Matiangi? Can people from Machakos vote for Fred Matiangi? Can people from Turukana vote for Fred Matiangi? These are some of the questions that we must put up and challenge it, because presidency is not something that we just go and just a walk in the park. It is not. And you see how our politics is so expensive. And you see these are people will be going head to head with one William Ruto. William Ruto is not an easy thing that we might want to ignore. This is somebody mwenye amejipanga. You see, recently he made a tour in the central region, and it is being said that 8 billion shillings was used. 8 billion shillings was used. Imagine what Ruto is willing to use in the 2027 elections. These are some of the things that we must not ignore. And you see, Kenyans are ready to go for people who give them money. You see, voters always go for people who give them money. So these are some of the factors that we must not ignore. These are some of the factors that we must not ignore, and these are some of the factors that we must put in place. Now, my question is, between former Chief Justice David Maraga and former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiangi, whom do you prefer to face Ruto in the 2027 elections? If it is David Maraga, can you suggest for him a deputy, a running mate? If it is Fred Matiangi, whom do you think he should choose to be his running mate? Tell me in the comment section, because today it looks like it is Fred Matiangi day. Every post I come across on social media platform is all about Fred Matiangi. If we are ready to vote in people based on the ideologies and policies, then we go for it. But if the discussion that I've been seeing on social media is something to go by, then we're still not there. We are still not there. And this is something that is really giving me waswasi, because I know that some people will go for money, some people will opt for money. So our politics is expensive, and we expect a lot from these politicians in terms of money. Of course, when we sing about development, when we sing about budgeted corruption, when we sing about counties not doing enough, when we sing about all these things, of course they don't care. These people don't care, but they are willing to spend billions and billions of shillings on campaigns and elections, because for politicians, they don't care. All they care is about their self-interest. That is it from me for now. Thanks for watching. This is Sophia Live.